T-Man wants to know, can you expand on the Am I Missing an Eyebrow incident? Am I Missing an Eyebrow incident is weirdly still one of the most famous things that happened on the show. And my takeaway from it is a little different than yours if you watch it. So I want to elaborate. This is a very early season 1 story, early in season 1. So the show hasn't started to air. We know nothing about how to make television. And we are trying to generate a static spark with friction. So we are like rubbing silk on PVC to generate static electricity. And then we're trying to build a box in which we can create the correct gas-air mixture or stoichiometry to achieve ignition. And the way our experimental setup works is we have a spark gap in this chamber, and the two leads from that spark gap are one going to this silk piece of cloth I'm holding and the other to a piece of PVC, and I'm rubbing, trying to build up enough static electricity. Unless you think static electricity is minor, just know that a spark you can feel is probably around 5,000 volts. The resistance of air is 10,000 volts per centimeter. So if a spark jumps an inch, that's 25,000 volts at a very, very low amperage. But so, yeah, you can generate some really impressive sparks just from static electricity. And we were trying to do it. But again, this is the earliest days of the show. Our rigor with methodologies is super nascent, as it were. And one of the most dangerous things that can happen when you're setting up an experiment is nothing. Because when nothing happens, you can get complacent. You can think, well, nothing will happen. So we got no spark, or we saw a spark, but it didn't ignite, and we changed the parameters a little bit, and we saw a spark and it didn't ignite, and we changed the parameters a little bit. And this is the danger that can happen. This is where dangerous things can happen, is nothing continues to happen, and thus you continue to think more and more that nothing will happen, and that's when the thing can bite you. I am sure many people watching are nodding and thinking about the scars they have based on this exact progression. And this is what happened. When I finally did generate the spark that ignited the gas, I had not considered that the tape I was holding this chamber together with would burst, and it burst towards me, and a fireball basically hit me in the face. Very minor fireball. But yeah, immediately I'm laughing because, I'm on camera and I'm like, am I missing an eyebrow? And then Jamie goes, no, but you're missing most of your hair. And I go, you're kidding me. Like, all of my humor dies instantaneously because of my ego. And I then explained that I had a date that night, and what I find hilarious is to see all my jocularity leave the room the instant I think that my appearance has been compromised. It's so ludicrous. I mean, totally understandable, but I also find watching my sense of humor disappear in an instant hilarious now. That date, I had that date. It turned out I really wasn't missing an eyebrow. And while it did, back then I kept my hair very short. It was a number 3 and a number 3 on the top and a number 2 on the sides. I did that for years because I hated my hair. My hair was my enemy. It would always do like weird stuff and I would feel weird about it. So I went bald for about 4 years. And then after that, I went like super close for about 10 years. And then when I met my wife, she liked my hair longer, and then so did I. And actually, once my hair grew back, it was very different in my late 30s than it was in my late 20s, the last time I had let it grow to any length. What were we talking about? Oh, right. Am I missing an eyebrow? Therein lies, I think, yes, the date went well. That was not my wife. The person I went on the date with and I, still friends, still a lovely human being. Yeah, those are all the things you need to know about the Am I Missing an Eyebrow story. Ryan Peck asked another great question. What was your experience on Mythbusters? Was your first experience being a producer? Yes. And what have you taken from that which has helped you with Tested? Well, so I don't think that I was a producer of Mythbusters until Hindenburg, until the Hindenburg story. Yeah, that's the shift. There were internal things going on that aren't worth talking about, but for me, that was the moment that I took on the mantle for myself of being across all of the details of each story we were going to do. And until then, I let a lot of other people deal with that because I didn't have the institutional knowledge or the experience to have a point of view on how I wanted to make a TV show. It took me 70 episodes. I was lucky enough to spend 68 episodes of a show learning how to make the show in order to become one of its producers. I think the most powerful lesson I learned on making the show as a producer is that it's a group effort. That is absolutely a communal exercise, and that it lives and dies on feeling to all participants like a communal exercise. That episodes produced under duress, and we had a few of those, aren't as good as the episodes in which everyone's having a great time. I know that sounds like ludicrously dumbly axiomatic, but I can't stress enough how, in contrast, late-stage capitalism's galloping towards the cheapest way to do everything is harming creators' ability to make good shows and good television. People making reality television now are working with budgets that are less than 1/10 of what we were making Mythbusters for. And we weren't, we weren't a stupidly expensive show. We were pretty expensive by the end because we had ratings to back it up, and we had a nice long success run. And you get more money, time, and power when you do that. But everyone feeling like they're pulling on the same rope is one of the producer's really important jobs. Now, like in film, I'm talking about television producing. Film is a totally different animal, and I haven't worked as a producer in film, so I understand I am not speaking to producer in any other aspect than within the frame of reality television, which is the frame I know best. And that to be a producer of reality content like we do here, it works best when everyone feels like they're on the same team. And it is easy to not let that happen. All sorts of things can get in the way of that. Ego, and there's nothing I hate worse than fighting with someone because they want their idea to be the one that gets used. They don't even care about the idea itself. They just want the credit. Like, that's boring. And that wasn't something we had to deal with on the show very much at all. And I'm really grateful for that. Sivartkram, Sivartkrim, Sivartkrim says, which Mythbusters myth would you like to reshoot with the slow-mo guys? And their Phantom X. Look, the slow-mo guys have the best toys. That's unassailable. And I will tell you, the whole time I was in Austin filming with them, I kept on thinking, I got to get one of these guys to smack me in the face. I love nothing so much as a good, solid smack in the face on a high-speed camera. And I'm totally willing to take it. I think we went on Kimmel and he smacked me in the face with a fish. And then actually Jamie did a spectacular smacking of me in the face that became part of the Mythbusters explosive exhibition. We actually you could ramp through the video fast or slow with this big dial. And so people just got to watch my flesh. I mean, you can see my whole face sort of slide across my skull as Jamie smacks me. Yeah. So yes, I don't have a burning need to go revisit any of our myth stories, but absolutely for high-speed shots, you can't beat a great smack.
Thank you for watching that video. Are you as sick of the tosses to membership as I am? Good, because here's a brand new one that I recorded today, and it's nice and short. There are 3 tiers to Tested membership, and they all offer awesome stuff. Find out about it by clicking the join link below. We'll see you there.